it needs to be looked at into a little bit more depth with the diocese. And again, I think the parish council formally needs to say happy to spend approximately £500 and that can then be taken forward. I don't know whether you want to leave that to the new parish council or want to do it tonight.
What are we waiting for the diocese to decide then?
Nothing, there were just questions that they asked in this email, and I guess we, the church, would need to find out, for instance, if the memorial was erected by the Wargates Commission. I don't think it was, from what I originally learnt about it.
It's not a registered war grave.
No.
But they would be interested in having the details of it when I once spoke to somebody about it. And that was how it came about. I was telling them that we had a Sherwood Forester one day when I was up at Staxton World, and the lady was there from the War Graves, and she was saying, you know, it would be, get me all the details, so we then started moving on it. But I don't know whether it could...
So they might be interested in moving it to the...
It could easily be, if we source the right person.
So would they incur the cost then?
I don't know what it said, but you never know.
Contribute something?
Well, they would maintain the grave once it was, once they knew about it and it was on their records.
Okay.
No, I think that's something we'd have to discuss with his family.
Well,
you know, are they happy for it to go there?
Well,
that's all been discussed.
Yeah,
it's
There's no body there, it's purely and simply a memorial.
I think what Steve said, I think it's the thing. I think that it should go on the agenda to be said if the next parish council wants to do this, or if they don't want to do it. Because it's a distant memory for me. And you know, I think we ought to be just rediscussed to check out, do I want to spend £500 on this? Is it necessary? Just go over it again.
Or should we just get in touch with the World Graves Committee first before anything else is decided and see if they are interested in that point? That's probably the way forward.
Yeah, they can only say no, can't they, at the worst?
It's like a war grave.
I have got a contact with the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, or have had in the past, so I'm sure I can find that.
Well, if they're happy to maintain it, it's going to stand out where it is, isn't it? You know, I don't know what they would do to...
Well, I'll talk to them, and if you agree, as Gordon said, put it on the next agenda for this year.
Everybody happy to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Handyman issues, do we... there was a note about storage depot agreements.
Yeah, Gordon asked me to provide copies of the play area agreement and the depot agreement, the signed ones, which I did, so I sent it to all of you, so you all got it there.
Okay, well, clear what's agreed there then.
Just generally handyman, wasn't it because it's scarce? You know, what comments about them not being seen in the religion is normal to them?
I don't know, I've been on myself for a fortnight, so I'll talk to Steve, not to my knowledge.
Is it still with the same as that was a week?
Yeah, Pete the handyman has got an ankle in pot. He's been in pot for a fortnight, I think. He was going up the stairs or something and he's slipped and he's torn ligaments. And tomorrow he's going to hospital to have a something boot put on, which means he'll be more mobile. So he's not worked as much as he might, and you know, Pete Hastings and myself have been aware of that. Steve, I know, has been doing his checks in the play area, because I know we've got the forms for that. I'm not aware that he's not around in the
just comments.
Yeah, I'll follow that up.
Chair, can I? Just one word on that, please. Because I sent Steve an email with regards to the litter not getting picked up in High Street and down to Rush Corner. And I sent that with the request to speak at this meeting tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody was sent that email.
Yeah. Okay, so just
I'll talk to Steve, yeah.
check with Steve still.
So I've been not so well this last fortnight. I've had a really bad infection, so I've not been quite at the races. But I will pick up with Steve.
Check his litter picker tools still working.
Make sure you
First
get
question
a
I'll ask you.
Make sure you get a listed ticket.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so we've covered the...
Oh, sorry, one other thing, if I may, I do apologise. Pete Wiles, he's not been able to do the garage move because of his foot. So the garage rent expired, I think it was last Friday. So he's going to get it done as soon as possible and get the keys back. So it might be we need to pay perhaps an extra week, maybe 2 weeks garage rent because of that. But obviously Pete's not been available to do any heavy lifting work because there's some salting bags to come out of the garage. Also, he's thinking of buying a new vehicle, and if he buys a new vehicle, he's going to have a tow bar put on it at his own expense that he will write to him, and he'll write back saying that new tow bar will be formally owned by the parish council, because you can't transfer the tow bar from the existing vehicle to the new vehicle because they're vehicle specific. So the same situation will be the case with the new vehicle. The parish council will own the tow bar. So I said that was okay. It made sense.
Well, he's putting it on at his expense.
He's putting it on his expense, and it basically will be the same now, but it'll be on the new vehicle.
So we won't take it off any time.
At any time.
So what will happen if he changes the vehicle again then? Just the same thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, he
Transfer
wants
tow
to maintain a tow bar on the new vehicle for work as well as...
Right, okay. Do we need to go over the play area agreements?
Again, Gordon asked for that, so I sent that through to everybody, and I think I've covered everything I need to, if that's okay, on the play area.
Anybody got any comments on the play area agreement?
It has been delivered.
Okay, yeah. The grapevine then?
Yeah, that's been delivered on Sunday. I mentioned to you at was it the last meeting that I was having all sorts of issues with the photocopy company. I was quite confident that was being sorted and resolved. Unfortunately, it hasn't, and I'm now at a situation where I need some support, basically, from the parish council on it. I'm getting into an area that I've not experienced before with a company that is not operating to rules that I understand. So if I may, I'm going to talk to Peter's in the know of it. He's not here. I'll talk to Helen and hopefully one or two others if people would like to sort of offer that sometime next week or the week after.
What was the guarantee with it?
It's a very complicated thing to talk about now. Sorry, I'm not trying to fob off or anything, but basically when I came out of an agreement with Conica Minolta that worked so well for 5 years, and went into an agreement with this company and had a conversation with the salesman, with a friend of mine there, because he knows a lot more about photocopying than me. And it turns out that the salesman was at a different meeting to myself and this friend of mine, and it's very difficult to prove or disprove because there was no need to record the meeting, because I wouldn't do that I don't think many people would actually record a sales meeting, and so that didn't happen. And it's just got very complicated since then, and there are all sorts of issues that would take a long time to explain. And it's causing problems. It's causing me a lot of grief, and I'm not enjoying it, and I need to find a way to resolve it, because I hold my hands up, I'm struggling, and so I would appreciate support from the Vice Chairman and a couple of others.
What a car company?
XBM Limited. XBM.
Is the copy used for other parish councils?
It's not now. No, I've stopped doing that. The
Well,
only
you
reason.
could use them as a bit of weight.
No, I understand what you're saying. The only reason for having the copier for the last 5 odd years was to produce the grapevine.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason. Without it, without needing it for that, wouldn't need a copier. And in fact, I've now, with my own money, I bought a printer, which I'm using for all the parish councils to take any printing away from this big copier, because the use, like for here, is not massive at all. It's agendas and minutes and so So that there's, I wanted to make it stand alone to just do the copier, because it actually means that the better service we were going to get with the Great Van isn't now happening, and it's costing a tad more than it did when we had the 5-year lease, instead of costing less. And as I say, there are lots of issues with that, and something has just come up this last few days that really is the straw that broke the camel's back. And I just need some support in what I would recommend to do, because I don't feel confident enough to deal with it on my own.
Are we at the point where, as parish council, we approach training standards?
I've spoken to legal. I've got a friend who's in the legal profession, and he says you could spend a fortune and get nowhere. And it's one of those grey area situations.
How long's the contract got to?
It's a 5-year contract, which I put to you as a recommendation, and it was the right recommendation. Again, this friend of mine who used to work for a photocopy company, he said we did everything right, due diligence, etc., etc. It's just the company are, well, I don't want to go into too much detail because we are being recorded, and if I say anything that is slanderous, then that would not be a good thing. There are major issues.
If the parish council would like some support from the ward councillor, then I'm happy to sort of put a bit of weight in as well.
Thank you.
It sounds as though you're having a bit of an uphill battle.
It's
Yeah.
And if needs be, I'll mention it to David if it gets that far.
Right.
thank you.
So, then, would you like somebody to come, or some of us as a representative come to you, sit down with your table and have a look and
Run through it all. Yeah, that would be superb. I really do need that.
yeah. And we can do that without noticing it as another meeting, or do we have to minute that then?
No, this would be this would be me talking through and getting
We
advice.
need to make sure we've got it right here, Steve.
It's not going to be advertised as a public parish council meeting because it would be in my house. But it's something that, unless the parish council feels that it should be somewhere else, but I wouldn't want to open it to the public because I think it's not at that point, and it's not wishing to be secretive, but it's a commercial issue. And if it were to be discussed around this table, I would suggest that the parish council make it exclude the public as it is allowed to do. Because it is commercially.
Well, would you prefer then to have a meeting around this table with all of us here, and we'll have a special meeting just to discuss that?
That's entirely up to yourselves. I think we'd probably get, well, I don't know.
Can I suggest that you should go down to Steve's house and have a chat? I think that's the first thing. I really do.
Yeah, can't we just ask for a couple of volunteers who are in the know?
That would help. That would help.
I mean, obviously, two things.
I've done it good with the big Yeah, well, I'll come and
Thank
we'll
you.
only listen, can't we?
Yeah.
I'll come then.
Yeah.
Thank you. If anybody else would like to, please say so. I'll invite Anne as well, and Victoria. Thank you. That'll either be towards the end of next week or the week after. But I'll give some dates and make sure people are aware.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right. Adoption of the BT telephone box back label. It's been done and it is now owned by the parish council.
Yeah. I put a piece of paper in the box. If you might have seen it, explain that it's now not owned by BT but owned by the parish council. And at some point, the parish council need to decide what to do with it. As you have talked about moving it to the village green. The existing box on the green, I've just had information from BT about its usage, and it's being used between 6 and 10 times a month. And they say that they think that we'd get a few complaints if we wanted to decommission it. And the guy from BT suspects with the usage and the type of usage that there's a small number of people in the village without a mobile or a landline who rely on it. So he's saying that he thinks probably it's the wrong time to take it out.
When would you like to discuss where the rental of a box is going to go there? Or would you discuss that now? Anybody got any suggestions?
Well, I think you'll meet on site, really, on the village green, have a look.
I think so.
Well,
So I think the village green might be a bit cluttered.
personally, I think the village green's cluttered and the ideal place for it would be outside the village or entrance car park entrance.
Yeah.
Well, there you are then. Yeah, well, I think you should go and have a look, definitely.
Would it be expensive to move? Have you had an idea how much it's going to cost?
I think Alan spoke about actually being able to lift it, didn't he, and transport it to whichever side we decided on, or to where it's going to get restored.
Does it just sort of need concrete in then?
The only information I've got is that email I sent you from the Isle of Man or somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's all I know about moving BT boxes.
I'm sure we could talk to Lincoln or... Did you say somebody had offered?
Yeah, Alan was an offer to lift it and shift it wherever we needed.
How did you need to get to find out, because you could easily break that thing?
Well,
You
I
can't-
think it's one of those things that pound it with. We haven't a blow on it. It's one of those things.
Yeah. Somebody will be able to advise us a bit on that.
But going back to the site in the village or entrance, it's covered by cameras and everything.
Which part do you call the entrance as you actually come in?
No,
or the-
footpath.
On the opposite side from the bus stop?
No.
Well,
Yeah, on the
one
opposite side of the
Yeah,
entrance,
on the
yeah.
entrance, yeah.
Yeah.
Behind an SSI.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, because there's a bit of a
yeah.
lay-by bit there,
So
isn't
we've already prepared for it.
Is it in the state now that it could be shifted then? Is it, all the connections are out of it?
Oh, it's been decommissioned,
So
yeah.
you could actually lift it up now if you needed.
There's nothing to stop it. It would doubtless need a little bit of concrete finishing where the where it's currently standing. So yeah, the
Yeah.
sides of it are standing.
But that land should go and have a look then.
Yeah.
There was actually one on television the other night that somebody had done out some information.
I think I sent you an email into it.
Yeah, we saw it.
Some information on the local library.
And if it was where the CCTV cameras are, you could see if
There's
there is a
some
huge
sort of heating there.
Eating.
How long are you going to be stood in there?
They all go down.
Yeah.
All the bridges
Yeah.
until-
It's just one that I've seen there. There was no heating in the one that I saw.
Like that. In same coverage, you don't have any heating on them, everything
Yeah,
goes.
we do.
So that's only one thing.
There was no heating in the one that I saw. It was literally bookshelves, books.
Let's get it moved first.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing.
Okay, so do we
If Gary Hite's up, we've got to take it somewhere.
Try and put it tomorrow.
Take it straight down
Yeah,
to the...
go on, see what you
So Mike, you're going to have a look at the phone box and see what needs doing to shift it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Are we all in agreement where we're going to put it or?
Are we all in agreement?
I think you do need to go and have a look at it.
Just
a few of
I mean, we haven't really got a lot of choice, have we?
Well, there is a
We're
corner
fairly
there.
central, weren't we?
There's a corner there.
There is a nice corner there.
Well, I think if the old phone box was coming off,
Yeah.
then I think that is the ideal
Definitely.
situation.
Yeah.
Because there always was
Or
one.
it's not.
Yeah.
No, it might be an issue. But do we sit on it or do we want to move it, you know, it's whether you just
I
leave,
mean, can we
you leave it there
get-
for a year and wait, or do you want to get it moved, isn't it?
That's concerned to it.
Because you said there is did 6 to 10 calls per year. Well, the last time,
A month. 6 to 10.
the last time, what they doing about 185?
No, it wasn't a lot more. It was
Was
more
it?
than that, but it wasn't. I haven't got that with me. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't think we should ask for it decommissioned anyway, because for emergencies or
Mm.
Does BT have a finite amount of calls where it's not viable?
They don't seem to. No, they seem very much of the mind that they want rid of as many as possible. I've had letters to all 5 parish councils I work for saying if you'd like to decommission a box, we'll sort it for you.
Right.
So they're very keen to get rid of them.
What would, so they wouldn't be interested in, I know they've got rid of one and put a new one there, they wouldn't be able to take that one, put that one on and put the actual phone back in it.
I've asked that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, well, that's a shame, isn't it?
Mm.
Okay, so do we think we should go and have a
Well, I think
just a check-up of...
Mike may be able to look, see what he thinks about moving it.
Okay.
So,
Is
Gary
it-
Sackler, I can do it.
Yeah, probably two. Probably 4 foot concrete.
Will it be getting restored in between one part and the other part? Because some of that
Okay.
He's tied up and you asked for him and all the rest of it.
It'll be quite a costly job though. Really want to be red and I want sandblast. Oh yeah. Right.
What's the
I need sandblast out because the first few layers of paint might even be left.
Yeah, the bottom
It's
one.
that all they're doing is pins over the top. So if he's the professional doing it, it's going to get done.
Okay then, so what have we decided we're going to do then? You're going to go and have a look at it. You're going to have a word with the sandblasting friend. We're all going to have a look at the site and see if we all agree within front of the village hall. Probably in that corner, but if you think not, I mean there's a sign, isn't there, with the flower bed. I mean it's very visible in the corner, so isn't it? Near the bin there, isn't there?
Next to back.
Yeah. Yeah. The back of that wall.
The other side, so you're actually in the car park?
No.
On the roadside.
On the roadside.
Is it, do we have to check the highways for street furniture and the safety implications?
Planning commission.
I don't know.
Or planning
What do you think
commission?
it was?
I think as a matter of course you should do
I
that.
don't know,
I think we
I
should
think you
check.
probably, yeah, I think you certainly have to inquire anyway.
Yeah, it's right to do that, if
Yeah.
nothing else. I don't think it'll affect the sightlines, well, it won't affect the sightlines from the village hall entrance, which I think would be their major concern. But yeah, it would be right to do that. I'll check that in the meantime, and then we've got that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything?
Do you see any residents not being happy with it? Was that one?
Couldn't imagine it, not where it's going.
I mean, I don't know. I'm not aware of any, but I'm just wondering,
No.
obviously, there's...
I think they like it.
Yeah, I couldn't see anybody complaining about it. It's not going to block anybody's view, it's not in front of anybody's front garden or...
It isn't like you're putting a lovely piece of modern art there, is it? It's something that people are familiar with.
It's
isn't it?
traditional, yeah.
Tradition looks better than your new one.
Yeah. Okay, everybody happy with that then? Right. Petition for pedestrian crossing at the centre of the village. Update, please.
Just to report that the petition is still ongoing. I put something in the grapevine about it, and come the main meeting when our ward councillors are able to get involved, and perhaps at that point plans need to be set to look at almost a PR exercise, I think is what you've talked about, to try and push Beverley into lifting us up the priority list. We are on the list for a crossing. It's a case of where are we and how do we get further up.
Okay.
But we can't really do that with the support of our ward councillors until the elections are over.
He'll shout loudest to it, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so we...
Well, at least we can shout loud, even if we don't get it, can't we?
Yeah. Good at that.
Sorry, Chair. Just going back to the telephone box, could I suggest a site meeting at the next PC surgery? So,
Yeah.
Right, okay. So that'll be the...
Saturday.
yeah.
It's
Saturday for the 20th.
It's the 16th of May.
16th of May, so...
I'll put that on the minutes and send out a reminder. Okay.
Okay. Commuted sum for Hollyback Development, £74,000, and Peter Ward Development, amounts to follow, waiting for further information.
Yeah, we've still not heard from East Riding about how that is to be applied for. So we're waiting for that. Ian Perkins asked about potentially using it to provide a play area on Sands Lane, excuse me, and I checked that with the Community Sums officer, and the Community Sums officer said yes, assuming the play area meets all the requirements and the buffer zones, she sees no problem of applying to use some of those funds to have a play area on Sands Lane. There's nothing more I can tell you at the moment, because the forms and so on haven't been ratified yet.
Okay.
Is that the £74,000, is that from the Hollybank development?
Yeah. Yeah, the developer puts that into the use riding as a
Yeah, but
community.
he said then goes on, he said Peter Ward development, amount of full.
Yeah, we haven't been told how much that is yet. But
You won't do because he hasn't got it for yet.
yeah, but it's all set to go, that one at Chapel Garth.
Well, maybe.
Well, my information is, sorry. But the community sums officer, when I last spoke to her, which was a little while ago now, said that they didn't have a figure for that development yet.
So can't do more.
We can't do any more, no, but no.
Parish Council Facebook page.
Again, that's something you've held over because yourself and Ian, the two people that were talking about it, involved in it or whatever.
So are we happy, Ian, then to just carry on after this
Yeah.
creating it?
Yeah, I don't mind doing that after the elections either, if you like. It's easy to do.
Well, if there's something for the only thing I was going to ask you about is, you know, when people ask to join the Facebook page, do you know all the people? And if you don't know them, do you know them?
The profile, you can usually tell the ones that are fake profiles. There's a lot of fake ones out there. And as soon as you click on those, you end up with something naughty or whatever. But yeah, it's just a matter of going through them, checking that they're from the area. You can usually tell by the profile pictures, it'll say their locations and stuff, so it's easy to do.
Yeah, that's the thing I have done, was a bit dubious about.
Yeah, no, it's easy to do, just look at the profiles and there's usually a picture of Churchill or whatever, you know, or you usually get from the area.
So is everybody happy for Ian and I to just carry on, keep an eye on the Facebook page? Okay, thank you. The Tour de France, a second made to France. You was going to say that. Tour de Yorkshire, have we got an update on the plans and Louise?
Yeah, everything's going on all right. We do need help the Sunday before though, the 26th. Get the bunting up. People with figures, cherry figures, long ladders or anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the only thing. We're going to need a lot of... can I just speak to a member of the public? Am I allowed?
Yeah.
Margaret, Bunting HQ, we do need a lot of help, don't we?
Yes, help putting the buntings up, as you said, with ladders and things.
Yeah, because it's a lot, we've got, you know, a lot.
I can't give any input into that, but I've put
Yeah.
the input into the bunting, but we would appreciate some
help, because we've got a lot of
able-bodied people to go to ladders.
We're only small people, Margaret's only small, and most of them are only small in the bunting-making department, and we need a lot of, you know, people who run down ladders and help us.
Well, we've got a JCB with a basket that goes in the front, but we're busy on the 26th, but if we could do it another time, we could come.
See, but I didn't want it the week before, I did when the parish council put the flags up.
Well, what's got on the Monday, or
It's pretty much
27th?
all of
Yes.
them.
27th of the...
Yeah.
We went round.
Long
There was a lot of
ago.
ways of the cycles and the buntings and the adverts and things like that all up.
Well, what's the Sunday before? The Sunday before then is the Sunday after, isn't it? It's next Sunday,
That's
isn't
this
it?
Sunday.
Yeah, well, that's impossible.
Yeah. No, what about the Saturday then? I'll just check that.
What, the Saturday afternoon evening then?
The day before the 26th. The 25th, I haven't got anything on.
Yeah, maybe say then.
Yeah. I mean, where about, you just put it at the high street, so
Yeah,
we try
no, the full length, it's going the full length of the village.
From the side
Yeah,
to
hopefully,
side. Yeah. I mean, would a JCB with a basket on the front gate?
I would think so, yeah. You see, I think Lincoln did suggest, but you know, it's alright people saying they're going to do it, but I want to make sure we've got somebody who can do it, help us do it.
Are you doing it at both sides or just one side?
It depends what if we can't handle on that side, we'll do it on that side, yes.
But some of this should be in someone's front garden, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we're doing a recce on Friday night down Selby Road, at this end. Quite a lot of the residents down there are getting involved with putting their own stuff up as well.
How far are you going down the station limit?
We're starting at the end, that side, end of the village, and we're going right down to the roundabout.
Are you putting it on the front of people's houses then?
Well, lampposts, fences, you know, whatever we hang it from, really.
So you won't need a JCB the whole way?
But you know, it's just the height, isn't it? We don't want people swinging off it or pulling it down.
telehandler goes down.
I mean, even ladders will do, but what I'm saying is it's just bodies really, we just need bodies to give us a hand really.
Yeah.
Well, we'll do it on the Skype.
Send an email to
Maybe have a word, I thought Richard might be in here tonight, maybe ask the footballers.
Yeah, well, that was.
Will you, would you?
Whether you'll get any of it.
Yeah.
Tell them you're dragging it outside the pub.
Yeah. I'll ask Mark if we can borrow
Will
the
you?
JCB with them.
And do you
And when are you doing it?
So we said the 25th then, Saturday afternoon.
Oh, well, no.
Are you
football?
footballing?
Could be after 4 o'clock.
Do drinks.
Yeah, give them a little delay the book for half an hour.
So we said Saturday afternoon then, we say about what? Sometime in the afternoon then? What
Yeah,
time?
I'll
Be at the village hall car park then about 2:30 or something like that.
yeah.
Um,
Well, if it's, you won't know you're home that day because otherwise I can't have the full one, so I don't want to talk about with the JCB. We'll liaise.
Well,
right.
you started out for
But anyway, so that's where we are. We've got bunting, we've got a few things going on, whatever. I mean, as you know, Steve, Bill spoke to Bill, didn't I, saying that, asking a few things. Car parking is just going to be virtually leading up to the village, I think. I mean, it was thought that the village hall were going to use the field at the back, but I think that's changed now, hasn't it, Ian? Because they're playing football, which I cannot believe we've got a football match on that day.
Can I just bring up then, I've seen they put some notices up today, haven't they, in the village, to say no parking from 6 in the morning till 6 at night. So where is everybody going to park?
6 in the morning till 6
When is
Yeah.
that, Saturday?
That's on the Saturday, the 2nd.
Are they coming both ways?
Well, no, I was going to ask you, where does that start from and where does that finish? Because I noticed the first sign I think that I looked at starts nearly opposite the village hall on the other side of the road, then there's another one and then there's another one down the road. But if you have a football match on, or junior football, it's just going to be absolute chaos. Where's everybody going to go?
I don't think they're going to do it.
What that?
You'll be able to go to shop.
But if it's 10
Might
past
be
12,
able to
if it's 10 past 12 when they're actually passing through, which is the time they've just said, surely after, once they've gone,
The policeman said to me, he said the road should be half an hour before and half an hour after. But it's this sign that they've put up that say there is to be no parking.
That's stopped so that they've got clear
I
roads.
understand that. But if you get a what are the provisions if there is a car park there? And the Saturday morning, people, it's just going to...
They may well tow it away.
Yeah,
so
but my question that I'm asking is, where does this no cat, is it the whole of the route? Just the centre of the village?
I would think it's the route.
Yeah, the full length of the road.
So basically, you know, we're sort of really, the centre of the village is going to be shut from 6 in the morning, isn't it? Unless you're going to be on foot.
Is there no way this football match can be moved?
Oh, they might not go to
Away then?
I mean, well, that's a shame though, because it takes the kids out of the village for when...
The football match should be after the
Yeah.
anyway, won't
It's
it?
a football match, 2 o'clock, isn't it? Oh, you're right.
17 were at home.
And do they play in the morning?
So, I mean, if the race is at 10 past 12, the bike race, I mean,
So,
as,
football.
no.
What
They're
time do
normal,
they start
right?
coming in then?
1 o'clock, 1:15.
Well then in that case what they'll do, the footballers will come in early so that they see the bikes before they go through and then go and play football.
Yeah.
Is that road will be shut? But if they don't park in the village hall, they park on the roadside, the most people are going to get the car taken away.
The village hall might be paid for parking that day, isn't it? It's going up all the time.
Yeah, I can just see it being a bit like...
Is there a landowner along the main road, you know, somewhere, that would be willing to open their paddock to actually act as a car park?
Yeah, Sue Ryder are opening up, they're doing teas and they're doing parking. And I spoke to Mr. Towers and he didn't say yes or he didn't say no.
what about the school?
At school. Well, again, I mentioned it to school. I said you're missing a big opportunity here, and they're supposed to be doing something, but I can't do it for them. I've mentioned it to friends of ours, and I've mentioned it to the school as well. About opening the car park at school.
What about that paddock then that's between one half of the village and the other, the one in the middle? Who owns that? You own that?
Yeah.
Nobody chanced it.
Yeah, I mean,
Is it possible to open
there is,
that
but it's
up?
quite low there. I mean, if you come wet, it would be no good.
Right.
It would be no good.
Well, if it comes wet, we probably won't have that as many cars, to be fair. But if it's a nice weekend, it's fairly central to the village as well, isn't it?
Well, I mean, we hope most people will walk.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, but I think there is a possibility that people will be coming into the area and picking places along the route where they're going to stop to
yeah, locals. I mean, people will be spread out, but will they come into the village watch, or will they go somewhere where there's a bit more space and just on the roadside somewhere?
Well, you're the next village to North Newbold, and North Newbold is a hill climb, and I'm guessing that North Newbold is where they're going to get. No.
Starts at Selby and then comes.
Yeah, but no, but en route, if you're coming from out of the area, North Newbold is where you would aim for, because it's going to be the most interesting because it's up the hill, yeah? But if North Newbold becomes gridlocked, nowhere to park, then they're going to go to the next place. So that could either be the place before or the place after. In which case,
I don't think there's anywhere to park in no one. I don't know.
Is there a contact number or anything on there, whoever put these people?
It's East Riding.
Is it?
You need to have a word with them.
Sure, it's East Riding, yeah.
Well, I think
Yeah. They only went up today. Yeah.
I can certainly ask the question. I mean, Steve can ask the question, I can ask the question at County Hall and see what they have to say. But I do know that it's not East Riding that's organising the event, it's actually, I don't know what to call it, something in Yorkshire. Welcome to Yorkshire.
Who was that chap that you told me to speak to, that guy?
That was our local police support constable, Bill Mel.
Yeah, no, that other, somebody else from
Simon, was it?
Simon. No,
Yeah.
somebody else who wanted to know what we were doing.
That was Bill or Simon, they were at my house.
But I really feel, I actually feel that people don't know what's going to hit them personally, and I feel a little bit, because like I said, joking apart with Margaret, we're really struggling now to get this bunting done.
I think the main thing is to concentrate on entrance and exit
and
work our way in.
But I really feel that, you know, I feel now that look, time's ticking on. We're all missing a big opportunity. School's missing a big opportunity. I work in school, I mention it nearly every day, and just nobody's interested. And I think they're silly, because this is an opportunity for our village to shine, and
I agree.
You know, and I really am struggling. You know, I am. But I mean, I can't make. You can't make people do it if they don't want to do it. And I think come Friday night, when everybody's sat about with their deck chairs,
they're going to wish that they'd done it.
They're going to wish they did something. So I rest my case. So as long as the parish council will put the Yorkshire flags up there, then, which I think they are doing, aren't they?
I'm fairly sure Peter's got, I'll check it, I've made a note to check, but I think Peter's talked to Peter about it, yeah.
Will they be fully recovered for ladder duties?
Well, I hope so, because I don't think I can expect it, you know, everyone to be putting them up as well. Putting uppers, put flags up as well. Those we can do at the same time, I don't know.
Well, depends how busy it is in the
Could
village.
leave the flags to the people with the, show the people with the flag up there, because most probably put their own flag up.
If you're really struggling, and I think you're right, I think it should be people actually doing it, but if you're really struggling, give me a ring, and Nigel and I'll try and get down and we'll give you an hour. Because it needs to be up, because we don't want to miss the opportunity.
If Peter is still struggling, and also I'll, like I say, I'll speak to Mark.
Alright, so we'll liaison.
Yeah.
You can get a telephone rather than
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can have some.
Okay then. So, I mean, could we have a word with the council and ask them what they really expect of us on that day?
I don't think anybody knows what they're to expect. But
I mean, to do with transport and vehicles in the village, I mean, you know, we've still got to go about our daily business, don't we? I mean, 6 a.m. to 6
So that's why he
p.m.
said they should be aware it was 11:30 to 12:30. So farmers are particularly, you know,
Yeah.
the bus and
Yeah, it's
whatever.
okay, and I'm outside, isn't it? I mean, I'm sure surely the race will be to a very tight schedule, won't it? You know, they'll have a fair idea how long it's going to take them to get from A to B.
Go to the nearest community centre.
Yeah, so I mean, we know at 12:10 things will be happening, so, you know, if they don't, and what is it, like a rolling roadblock in front of them, so, you know, as long as by 11 o'clock it's
he likened it to when the torch came through, but unlike the torch, when they had their own outriders and whatever, this is like from area to area with the police, you know what I mean? It wasn't a continual support, you know, they'll hand them over to the next area of police, or, you know what I'm saying, really?
Yeah.
And it's the same with these, I can't think what they, but you know, like they have the games makers, what are they called, games makers for the Olympic game? Well, they've got similar people to Tour de Yorkshire makers, or whatever, who volunteer, who will come at the beginning, but they're going to be wondering, I don't think they're going to do crowd control or whatever.
Do we know roughly what speed they're coming through? These
That
professionals. We've got support cars, haven't we? The support cars that come rolling through as well, won't they? I'm assuming they're exempt from speeding fines. Just come through the village, that's all.
I haven't thought of that one.
You've got a lot of pedestrians at the side of the road, and you've got this lot barrelling through.
Can I suggest if you got, see how you go on the 25th, right? Let's get a few bodies out there. If that doesn't go very well, we'll make a big effort then. Get everybody to make sure we do get this bunting up. Quite possibly have a good day on the 25th and it goes okay.
Well, I hope so.
If it goes
I just
badly,
feel like, you know, I just feel the village as a
Tell
whole
everybody.
a little bit lacklustre in it.
tell everybody
that's all.
if it isn't going well on the
Yeah.
25th, get somebody out on the 26th, you know.
Yeah, so.
Because we'll help you with that.
Okay, right. The local plan information plus neighbourhood planning.
The local plan info was put into the grapevine, excuse me, as you've all seen, so that's in there. Peter Hazens and I went to a neighbourhood planning event at Gilberdike. Gilberdike was there as well.
Yeah.
We met an old friend, Jessica Lee, as we knew her, who came to talk to the parish council about local plans and so forth about 18 months ago. Lots of information came out of that, and there is kind of almost a simple guide to neighbourhood planning that is available, and Peter and I sort of looked at it in outline and said it might be something that the parish council might be interested in looking at, and it certainly would give you the information. So again, that Peter's thought, and I would agree with him, is that the new council should maybe look at that at some point in the near future to decide if they want to go ahead and produce a neighbourhood plan. The cost would be, I understood, still quite prohibitive, but again, investigation via this pack will show that or not. So I'll pull that together for the new parish council if that's okay, and then they can look at that.
Okay.
Excuse me, may I make a point on the local plan, please? May I just say a quick sentence?
Yep.
I was very concerned that the grapevine would have the details of the 96 houses on Sands Lane. Consultation period started on the 30th of March, and the grapevine is coming out on the 17th of April. It closes on the 11th of May, hardly giving anybody any time. So Martin and I actually did a complete information note, complete with web links on the back page, which gives people all the information that they actually should have had much sooner. If anybody would like a copy of it, there it is. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I just ask you who that lady is? What's her name? What's your name?
Anne Pilcher.
Okay.